Okay, so now we see Ed Simon has another entry on 5/15. He went to this job, and we see travel in. Now I see I made a mistake, right? So we've already archived the one from yesterday, but there was more data there, I just realized, and I didn't put it in. So I'm going to go over to text, and let me just take a look at that. Okay, so here we are. This was the one we were looking at a second ago. So I did the 8 to 8:30 at the office, but I didn't get this and this information. So let's handle that right now. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to look for 58249156. All right, here it is, Lindros Remodeling. Click select. Edward Simon. The date was the 14th. First I'm going to look and see if I already have anything. And I do see 5/14. So it looks like someone started something here and didn't finish it. So let's put what should be here. So we have, see, 8:30 to 9:20. That's telling me it's in. I'm going to assume that's driving to the job because you see he left the office at 8:30. He got to the job at 9:20 and he got done for the day at 4:25. So I'm going to put 8:30 here. I'll just click off and back on. I'm going to put the out time 4:25. And I can see here that this is about 50 minutes. So I'm just going to round it to 45 minutes and put in decimal here 0.75. Now from time to time, you'll notice a negative number. If you should notice that, you might have put the time in wrong, which I did. It's the first thing you want to check. If you've put the time in right and you see a negative number over here, don't worry about that. You should see a positive number here though. Okay, so we have 8:30 to 16:25, 4:25, 0.75 for travel. He works 7.92 hours. All right, looks like we got everything covered. Now let's look at our list here and see what else. This is a job. So we're going to want to put information here and information here because we need some job target form hours. So let's see what we got. Number 14 says if the electrician reported billable hours and line items completed, cut and paste the information into the job target items field and enter the billable hours in the job target form hours field. Well, I don't see any billable hours here, so he didn't report anything. Okay. If the electrician, now I'm up to step number 15, if the electrician did not report the total amount of billable hours but gave line items, and or if the electrician gives other information about the job, then cut and paste this information into the notes field. This would be the notes field here. Then click the 80% button and it will automatically enter 80% of the total hours worked. Well, there again I have absolutely no additional information, so I don't have anything to put in the notes field. The next step is to press this button and it's going to take 80% of the 7.92 and it's going to enter it here in this box. Now we're done with step number 16, and if we hadn't already, step number 15, if we hadn't already, at this point we would click the box and we'd archive that. Since we already did, I'm just going to go back to my inbox so that I can continue what I was doing here and only see what has not been archived. So if I go all the way to the end here, I'll see that Sam entry, and we don't want to do that. We want to skip it. So let's go back, and now we have the next Ed Simon. So I'll handle one more of these here, especially now that we can see we have some billable hours and some line items. So that's good. You can see how that looks. So what's it say here? 58249156. We're done with this one. So normally you would hit back and then go find the job. Now I just noticed that I'm already on the job, so I don't need to go back and find it. I'm here. I already have Edward Simon selected. That's who I'm entering. So now we're just on a different date. So let's just come forward here and put 5:15. This has to be the date showing. If you hit the clock in, clock out button, you must have the date correct here because that's what's gonna log here. So I notice I already have 5:15. 5:15. Let's see if we got this covered already. Travel in 8:52. 8:52. Job out 5:05. That's already there. And it looks like job in was 9:53, which was about an hour. Well, that's logged. Okay, it looks like that's basically done. So this is all complete. And then we have 5.8 and 3AB and 2E. And you'll notice that's here too. Well, that's great. Normally what we would do if that was not there is we would cut and paste this. We'd click over here and put the information. Now, since this person put the 5.8, we can go ahead and we'd click in this box and put it here as well. I'm showing you this, but all of it's basically done. The minute you notice it's correct and it's done, you can go right on to the next one. And this is one of the reasons we archive these so that another person doesn't do the same work over again or even have to look at it. It's totally done. All right, so now we're going to go to the next one, which is Pete, 5:15. And let's see, he's on, so we'll go back. It's a different job. We're looking for 6185. And I don't see it here, right? 61. So what we'll do is go to find. And you have to type the work order number in the exact format, even if the technician wrote it a little bit wrong. 6185-9291. Enter. Okay, and we found a job. So we'll select that. And we have Avery Construction. And let's see what we got. We have office 8 to 8:30. We have travel, arrived, and finished. So I'm going to start with this grouping here since I'm here already, and then I'll go back and do the office. So it looks like they started traveling at 8:30. Let's find our person here. We got Peter Silson. The date is 5:15. And nothing is showing, so this has not been done yet. And there's no line item. So the first thing we have to do is hit the clock in. It'll say the date we entered up here, 5:15. And it has the current time, so we'll change that to 8:30. And then we'll change the time, which is the time finished. The stop time is 4:45. And it looks like he was traveling from 8:30 to 9:40, approximately an hour and 15 minutes. Now you notice I put that'll be 1.25. Put that in wrong again. Let's change that, 16:45. Okay, good. So we have an 8.25 hour day. And I see no line items. Okay, so if there's no line items, we have nothing to put job target items, nothing to put in notes. And in order to fill this box in, we just hit the 80% button and it's done. I'm going to go back, go to the office, grab Peter, same date, 5:15. And let's see if there's anything for 5:15. Nope, there isn't. We can clock in. Time was 8 to 8:30. And that's done too. So now we're completely done with that Pete item. We can archive that. And go to the next one, Brian Rogers. Now we see here he's saying 405, a number, job out, billable hours 7.2, here's information. Only 4 installed, not sure what that means. More line items, an extra, switch. 405, travel in, travel out. I'd say this is pretty confusing, and it's not in the correct format. So if you can make sense of it, you're welcome to enter it. But if it's confusing to you, just skip it and go to the next one. Shop 8 to 850. Well, that seems pretty easy. Shop is also office, so we can do that one. And there's nothing here, so we'll go ahead and clock in. And he says 8 to 850, so let's change that. That's done. We'll go back. And it says meeting with Sean. Okay. Probably jumped out of there a little quick. I can put that information in, so if anybody wants to know what he was doing, they'll know. Brian Rogers. Go back to 5:15. And let's say it was 5:16. And we can cut that. And 5:16, we can put notes there. Meeting with Sean. Doesn't have to be pretty. Punctuation's not important. Capitalization's not important. We can see between 8 and 8:50, he was meeting with Sean. Let's see what's next here. 8:50 is travel in. 9:45 is travel out. And he was at this job. Okay, so notice that starts with a 1. That means it is a service call. And we can go all the way back out to service in out. And we have another staff member that enters most of the service calls, so that should already be entered. If it's not, we can put it in just to make sure it's not missed. So I've scrolled down and I don't see a 1461, so I'm just going to go straight up to find and put in the work order number. And we found one. Select. Let's go find Brian. The date is the 16th. And I don't see any information here, so we can go ahead and clock him in. And let's see. He says that he was travel in at 8:50, travel in. 9:45, travel out, so it's pretty easy. Now on service calls presently, we actually use a separate line item. So hours type is going to be travel, and we're going to put 8:50 to 9:45. That's one line item. And then we'll hit clock in again, and we'll have a line item for on the job. Well, I don't see any other information. So I really can't put anything else there. We can just leave that. Obviously he was at the job at 9:45, but until I find the information, I can't clock him out. So we'll leave it at that, and we'll archive that. That's done as much as we can do. And then I would go to the next one and keep working my way up until I'm through. Hope that helps you, and if you have any questions, please email me and I'll be happy to answer them for you.